welcome to my VTUBE Studio setup tutorial for lots of items and assets that I make. So you can customize your model and make it do things like this. So let's get started really quick, and there'll be lots of timestamps if any of you just need a specific piece of information. So let's go. Most of my assets will come in a zipped folder, so you're going to want to make sure you unzip this first. And then you will be placing these in the VTUBE Studio model folder, which if you're not sure, you can find them by clicking the models up here and import your own model. And then you open the folder where it's located. Some creators also make their items already ready to put directly into the items folder. So make sure you check with the original artist to make sure which method you should use. I personally allow them to be made as models first because I believe it allows more customizability later down the road if you learn more about VTUBE Studio. Once you have found the VTUBE Studio models folder and you have unzipped the item or model that you have purchased or made, you will want to drop the entire unzipped folder into the models folder. So it will have components inside of it, but you want to keep them all together. From here, you'll want to find the item that you just loaded in. So let's get this cat ear for an example. You just load that up as a model. Check it's all working. And then you should be able to go over to the items menu and load current model as a live 2D item. And now this item will now be available in your items menu over here. It's that simple for most of the assets. Let's try putting these items on a model now. So what you can do, you go into your items menu, find the asset you want to use. I'm gonna get these cat ears here. And as you're loading them in, this here is the item order. So you can choose whether you want to place it in front or behind your model. And if you want it to be able to pin to the model. So for something like this ear, we're going to want to keep this toggled on. But if it's something like a table or the drawing tablets I made, you might not want to do this. If you would like to change the color or how anything turns, you can go to configure the item down here. So this first page is configuring the actual range of the item, which I'm not going to mess with here. And then customizing the multiply and screen color. For every asset, every layer, you can customize the screen layer and the multiply layer. You can press on these little eyes here to see which layer you're going to be editing. And then you can play with the colors here. It does take a little bit of technical and a bit of back and forth to get the color you'd want, but you go through multiply, and then you can adjust the screen brightness as well until you get something that you're happy with. So I can also do it for the inner ear here. Make this a nice pretty blue. And then press OK. And just like that, we have an ear. So the new VTUBE Studio update actually allows you to change where the item sits between the layers of your model. So this will depend on your exact model, on how well this kind of thing works. But if you press and hold on the item, you should get this pop up here. And then you can pin between layers, and you carefully drag it back until you have a nice place that you like it sitting. I think that's pretty good. And then you can you hold control while using scroll wheel to rotate the item, and you just click and drag until you get it in a nice position. And if I were to repeat this process, then you can get a mirrored one on the other side. Just for simplicity's sake. There we go. And then I want to pin this between layers as well. We're just going to do it like this for now. And now I have a working set of assets. If I would like to, I can create this into an item scene. So I can create a new item scene while this is active and then give it whatever name I want. So we're going to put ears test. And make sure these are both selected. And then this is now something I can set up in my toggles here. So I can create a new expression. And then toggle item scene. And then I can do the ears test. And we're just going to put this on 1 for the second, but you can adapt this to anything you want, including adding it to programs such as Mix It Up, so people can redeem these toggles and have them work. But now I can turn my ears on and off. Another important thing that you might want to know about that you may have saw in the beginning. So if I go to Customize Model over here, I can customize multiply and screen colors. So this means I can pick any of the parts of my model while it's loaded up, and I can change how they appear. So I can mess with colors on things like this, but what it also means is that I can... Let's find a good layer to use here. They're over here. There's also this opacity slider here. So if I turn this all the way down and press OK, I'll have to repeat this a few times. I can make parts of my model disappear. I see this part of the model isn't on there anymore. So this is just a temporary thing. I've just turned the opacity of the layer to 0. And then what I can do from there, if I want this to be linked to the same toggle as the cat animation, what I can do is Art Mesh Color Preset. And then you'll want to record the settings that you currently have active, like that. And then I'm going to put this on 2. So if I click this toggle now, it should toggle between them. I turned on some strange ones on there. But now if I do the cat ears as well, I can have both of these active. If I want them both on the same toggle, I can have my ears and such disappear when I toggle it, just like this one that I set up previously. I also have it for my tail, for the ears, for the antlers, and all the chains and decorative pieces. Here's some other tips for keeping everything organized too. So if you press this button over here, you will unlock all items, which means that you can drag items around and you can pin them to different parts of your model as you see fit. If you double click an item, you will lock it. So I cannot grab this item. It is all connected to me. So I won't accidentally drag this around. It'll stay in that exact place. You can do the same with model dragging. So you can lock your model and you can unlock your model. So you can move things whenever you see fit. Another thing, so when you have items, if you place them on strange parts of your model by different points, they may move a bit strangely. So say, for example, it gets attached to the eye. It's gonna react when I'm blinking, right? So if you get any strange movement while you're moving around, what I would consider doing is try picking up and dropping the item in different places to see what works best. So it's a bit of trial and error, I will admit. Items don't tend to do everything that you want them to sometimes, because it depends a lot on how your exact model is rigged, how the item is rigged, how compatible these are, if you have any hidden meshes. There is one other thing you can always consider. So you can customize your model and then exclude art meshes from item pinning. So if you have any strange art meshes that you don't want items to pin to, for example, this strand of hair here, let's just say this chest area. So if I untoggle this, items will no longer pin to this part of my chest if I didn't want them to for whatever reason. So this might be something to consider if you're getting any strange model movements. So I hope this helped you out. Let me know if there's anything else you think you'd need. And I hope you have lots of fun with your assets and setting up lots of cool things for your model.